Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Accurate Security, and in today's video we're gonna be doing monitor from Hack the Box. This is rated medium machine. I would say it's running Nagios. Nagios is an event monitoring system which offers monitoring and alerting services for servers, switches, applications, and other services. So the way it operates is that it alerts administrator or users whenever things go wrong, and alert them a second time when the problem has been resolved. So in this particular challenge, there's a vulnerability that we're going to be exploiting, which of course it's SQL injection. With that, we're able to dump the database and retrieve the API. And with the API, we create users account, assigned administrative privilege, and then log into the interface. So within the interface, we create a command that leads to us getting a reverse shell, and once we're on the system, to get the root, it's pretty much straightforward because we have the sudo privilege to stop and start services. So with that ability, we're able to stop the service, have our reverse shell, and start the service again and execute it using the sudo command, and we're able to get root on the machine. So enough of the talk, let's jump in. So let's go ahead and run nmap to paste the IP address. So let me confirm the IP address. That would be 1010 11.248. There's a typo here. So let's also run full port scan. I love to use cursor and H to specify the host. That will be 1010 11.248, and the target will be all. You can grab this from GitHub, and if you want to check the usage, just use cursor, that's H, to display the help. So this is the flag, the D for the DNS server. If you want to specify your own DNS, and if you want to save the output, use the output flag, and the T is the type of scan you want to run. If it's the port scan, script scan, UDP, vulnerability, recon, or if you want to do all, I love doing all of the recon, so that way I can be sure that nothing is missing. So let's go ahead and run this, and what we have the SSH, we have HTTP, LDAP, and the HTTP secure, as well as the this is more of like Nagios command line. So let's try to visit the page. That will be 1010 11.248. So it's redirecting us to Nagios monitored.htb. So let's go ahead and add this to our host file, and let me open another tab. Let me increase the font via etc hosts, and let's put that here. That will be 1010 11.248. So let's do monitored.htb and also nagios.monitor.htb. So let's check. Let's run directory brute forcing on all of these, and 5, and W to specify the word list. That will be user share word list, checklist, discovery, web content. Let's do wrapped medium words. Wrapped medium words. Let's do .txt and specify the URL. That will be HTTP. Let's run this on Negus and let's force this directory, and let's specify some extension. Let's do PHP and also do txt files, txt, and let's do some config and see if we can have some configuration file or conf. Okay, so it's redirecting. Okay, what we can do is set the redirection to true, and also let's see if we can filter some of the words. Okay, so let it run. Let's also do another one on monitor. Forgot this should be HTTPS, so maybe that's why it's redirecting. Let's go ahead and change that to HTTPS. And okay, now we can filter the status code with 403. Let's do this, filter code 403, so that way it's going to hide any error with 403. Let's go back and let's run the same thing. Let's go ahead and copy the same command we have. And this time around it's gonna be on monitor. And what else do we change? And also let's increase the font size and let it run. So let's go and refresh this page. Okay, so just click below to get started with Negus. So let's click on that. And then it redirects us to the login page. Okay, so let's try admin. So let's wait. And also it says invalid username and password. Let's also try and brute force this directory. We can, let's split these. Let's reduce the font size a little bit, and also let's split up these, and let's rerun the same. Let's rerun these. And this time around we want to do Negus, and also we have Negus, and let's force this directory. Do we get something back? Okay, we have login, we have admin, we have install.php, we have account, and we have config. So let's go back to the login page. So what's default? Let's try Negus. and use and see if it's gonna work. And let's check. Let me go back. Let's open another tab. Create search. I want to search for Nejus if there's a default credentials for that. So product not found. Okay. So this, it's also good for checking default credentials. You can look this up on GitHub. So for example, if you have a Tomcat service and you want to check for default credentials, you can just say create search for Tomcat, and it's gonna display all of the default credentials for the Tomcat server. If it's MySQL, you can do the same thing, and it's also gonna search for default credentials. So it's very useful if you're looking for services with default credentials. So let's search use default password. So let's use this in nature 0 and create ADM. Let's use create ADM, and it's gonna be in nature 0. That didn't work either. So let's continue with our enumeration. Let's go to the first tab. So we see, let's check these. It's still running and checking for UDP scan. So this is a service that requires a credential. So if you don't have a valid credential, you won't be able to log in. Let's try and check. Let's also look for this service on GitHub. I'm trying to see if I can fingerprint the version, and with that check if there's a vulnerability for the service itself. So let's see. So how do we enumerate the version? Now let's go back. Now let's do since we saw the config from our fuzzing, let's check this, the change log. So we have the change log. Okay, so can we do that here? Let's see if we do change log. No, not in this directory. How about here? No. And how about here? No. Okay. And let's change this camera case, change log. No, that didn't work either. So let's go back. then we access the config. Okay, let's do the config. Go back and right here, change this to config. It's still redirecting us to the login page. Okay, what else do we have? Seems we're stuck right now, so let's see. So we still have the same service version, so the HTTP is still redirecting to HTTPS, and okay, this SNMP. So what we can do is try and run the SNMP walk and see if we can get lucky with some credentials. So if you want to enumerate that, you can go to the hacking Bible, the way I call it. So let's do hack tricks. I believe it's called hack tricks XYZ. And then we can check the simple network management protocol. So while we're waiting for this to load up, let's just go to a different terminal. Let's see the machines, call this HTB, and let's make directory for monitor. CD monitor. Okay, now we can use SNMP walk, and let's do the public. Let's query the public community string, and the version we have v2c, and then we put the IP address, which will be 10.10.11.248. Okay, so let's leave that to run and go back to the hack tricks. So if you want to pen test the SNMP, just go down and look for the SNMP which runs on 161. Still loading. Guess. So what this is doing, it's kind of querying the community string, and hopefully, all fingers crossed, see if we can dump credentials here, and then leverage that and see if we can log in on the okay, there's a terminal. What can we do with that? Is there something we can access and run a command? Let's do, or probably it's still gonna redirect us to login page. So it's a shell in a box, so it's still asking us to log in. Let's do admin and password admin. Incorrect. So what else? Right here. So on this, it's saying that they discovered net use, but we need credentials as well, because for one, it's more of like authentication required in order for you to access. So we've checked the help. Let's check the install.php. Install.php. Still redirecting us to login. Sweet. So what else do we have? This is gonna take a while to complete, and this one also is still running. Yeah, so let's leave it and let it do its thing, but let's go back to the Hacking Bible and talk about the SNMP right here. So the SNMP is a network management protocol which is used to monitor different devices in the network. So it can be routers, switches, printers, Internet of Things, and most of the commands, most of the tools that we can use to enumerate the service, it's the SNMP work, which is what we're using right now. We're using SNMP. We can also use the SNMP buck walk, and there's another one, I believe it's called 161. 161, is it on this page? Let's use 161. Yeah, so also 161 to interact with this particular service itself, but exactly what it's doing is more of trying to query the services depending on the management information based system, that information that it's being set across the network itself. So it's very useful information. Just need to read through this particular article in order for you to get familiar with this particular service and to understand what the SNMP does or how it works. We have the version 1, version 2. I believe there's a version 3 for the SNMP, which is, let me see, there is a version 3. No, version 1 is not secured. Version SNMP version 3. Yeah. So I know that the SNMP version 3 provides more secure access to the device because it requires authentication and also encrypt the data or the packet across networks. And this, of course, it's not in existence with version 1. So let's see. Hopefully, we can get something. Then if not, we might want to resort into brute forcing the login page, but we don't want to do that. Brute forcing is not encouraged during any pen testing engagement, unless you're doing a CTF, capture the flag. You're welcome to do any of that because you're practicing, trying to hone your skills, but not during an engagement because you don't want to lock out critical user account. It might be service account, and you don't want to cause any denials of service. So while we're still waiting for this, let's see if there's any other service we can enumerate. This is still running. Reports. Let's check this report as well. Let's do reports. still redirects to login page. What else? We have tools, count, config, upgrade.php. Let's check that out, and let's do. It's still probably gonna redirect us to the login page. Upgrade.php. Let's check for the service. Suggest.php. What do we have? And we might have to look into the terminal one more time. Maybe that's gonna be our entry point, but we don't know yet. Let's see. Let me also rerun these. Let's rerun these. Let me copy these and let me divide this pane, and let's reduce these, because the more extension we try to fuzz, the more it's gonna take for this particular fuzzing to complete. So you see the difference now. Still probably redirecting. Oh no. So with this, we're getting something back. So we have the API, which is worth looking into, the back end. So are we getting the same thing here? No, because we're fuzzing the redirection. That's why we're not able to see that, because 300 error code, 300 status code is more like redirection, 400 errors on the client side, 500 errors on the server side, and hundreds are more of informational. So let's try to force this directory again. Let's divide this pane and force the API. Let's cancel this extension and do the API. Let's see what we can do with that, and let's hide any error code with 403. So we have the includes. Let's see. Let's go here and do the API. Okay, so forbidden, because we do not have the permission. Okay, let's see. And let's go back to our SNMP. Do we have something? Let's see. So we have the V1. We can also, let's say if we don't get anything back, we might have to stop this and then fuzz the V1. Let's go ahead and check this out if we have something. Nothing interesting. Nothing back. Still nothing. Did we miss it right here? Oh, probably. Actually, let's start from the top. So we have the root monitored. Since we're not getting anything back from this one, we can stop it and let's run this on the API and then the view one. Okay, so let's hide any words with 4 or size 32. Let's filter code. Let's do filter. Let's filter the size. Probably anything that has size 32. Let's do that. And let's continue with this. Nothing. So probably we might have to put first the login page. Or find a way to enumerate the version and check if there's a vulnerability for the version. What else do we have? Nothing. Seems we're hitting the roadblock here. Let's see. Still going down. Still going down. And nothing is forthcoming. Great. So license. Let's do the API view one and license. It says the API key, no API key provided, so we need the API key to interact with the API. Okay. So probably we might have to pause the video and wait for this to finish. Hopefully we can get something back. Let's see. What is it doing? Okay. So it's right now querying the object identifier. So the OID, what's the OID here? So place a crucial this unique identifier designed to manage object within the MIB. The highest level of the MIB object ID is located to diverse standard settings. So what does that have to do with this one? Okay, so let's see if there's any additional services we can fingerprint Let's check these. 5667. About 5667 is typically used for Nature's remote plugin executor, which allows remote execution of plugins. Is there any exploit for this? So execution of Nature's development that follows this. Let's open this up and also check this out, and let's check view of the GitHub. So we should have service. This is the network time protocol. We're still waiting for the SNMP to finish, and it's running the fun check. The service, no. Okay, so what do we have here? Script execution failed, and so it's more of like doing this pattern for us what we're doing with fuzz. So try do it. So it's saying the include the file path from action. Okay, find the following possible cross request for gray vulnerabilities. Okay, anything with this 5567, nothing. So after that, it's saying the web server recon, the SSL scan. So it's giving us the command to run, and also for the fuzz, which is what we're doing right now. And for the SNMP, we can use SNMP check or SNMP walk, but turns out we're using the SNMP walk. The held up service, oh okay, right here, and it run the SSL scan, not vulnerable to Heartbleed. What else? Okay, most of this is redirecting, and it's doing the same thing here. It also ran the SNMP. Did we get anything? Let's go back. Let me see if I can scroll up a little bit. Okay. Nothing here. Okay, so at this point, we might have to guess the credentials or possibly brute force the login. We assume that's the only entry point to solve this challenge. So still not getting anything back. and it's done. Same thing here. So we have authenticate. You need to authenticate to that API endpoint, but let's see. Maybe we can use the SNMP bulk. This might be one of the reasons why we don't have to rely on one particular tool. Let's see. Or maybe we're missing something. If nothing is coming back, then we might have to use bulk. And that's it. So let's use SNMP bulk. And then add the period. It's still gonna do the same thing that the SNMP did, but much more faster. And let's see if this is gonna come up with different outputs. Also, let's check this endpoint, authenticate. Let's see. We want to authenticate to this endpoint. You can only use a post with authenticate. So let's intercept these. Let's open our Bob suits. Bob. Yes. Or maybe probably there's something we're missing right here. Let's start. I don't know why my system is so slow right now. Okay, let's go back and check the vulnerability for these. I can allow position of text. Okay, let's pause this and let's send this to the repeater and send this off. repeater, and let's change this. It says it's requesting a post, and this time around let's do username. Let's do admin, and the password will be admin, and let's send this. It says invalid username or password. So we do admin name, administrator. So it's taking forever to come back. Still invalid. Let's do admin, and let's do password. So we need valid credentials in order for us to access the service. Still nothing. It seems I'm just going through. Okay. It in Chrome, string, and also string config, and so sudo scripts, strong scripts, svc. This might look like a username, so it's running a script, check host, and let's try this. svc, let's try, and let's turn opposite off. So let's go back to the login page. So that's one of the reasons why we don't have to rely on one particular tool. So SNMP work didn't give me the output I was looking for, or maybe probably we missed out on something. But with the SNMP bulk work, we got something that looks like credentials. So let's try that. The user is SVC, and we have the password, and let's try to log in. For some reason, I don't know why the system is slow. Let's try that again. It says login failed. So it says login token was expired. Please try again. So we have a valid credentials, but it's saying that the token has expired. So let's check something. And from the API endpoint, it's saying that we can authenticate, but when we provided credential, it says was not valid. So let's try SVC and let's put the password we have, and if we send this, it's taking forever. Sweet. So now we have this. So this is the token, and when we put in the token, the credentials earlier on, it says that our token has expired because this token is only valid for 5 minutes. So let's go back and try to add token. You can do this via so it says a token expired. So let's do token and let's place this value and let's add. And next, let's go back and copy the password. Copy the password and go back and try to log in SVC and log in with that. Don't save. So is this still gonna say a password expired? It says the specified account has been disabled or does not exist. So we're getting a different error message this time around. So let's see. How about if we go to this directory? It's redirecting us to Nigeria's. And so what else do we need? Let's see. No. Let's go here. And let's check for this. Is there vulnerability for this? The problem is we don't know the version. So if we don't know the version, there's no way for us to check for any vulnerability specific to the version itself. So let's choose vulnerability. I said 3 of which result in privilege escalation, SQL injection in the host. So let's check this. And let's see, let's close this one up. And what do we have here? So this is for the edge score less than 4.2, less than 4.2.0. So okay, let's see. So earlier on, let's see, was it this? Yeah, so here it says we're unable to access this because it requires authentication. So let's see if we can go to this directory, let's use, and let's go to choose. And now it's prompting us for credentials. Let's put that, and the password. Let's see if I have the right password in my clipboard. Yes, I do. SVC, and let's paste this and sign in. Okay, so one thing is like the password or the credential work. Sweet. So what can we do with this? So demo running PID and Niger school. Let's check this. Okay, for system configuration, so let's check the documentation also. No, that redirects to the web page. Let's close it up. We don't need that. Let's go back. Service is running. Documentation. Boom. Report on the system as well as the configurations. Let's see. And let's check for vulnerability specific to these. And the ransom. Let's go for different vulnerability. Okay, so it says version 5.11.1 and lower allows user with various level of privilege to access database field via SQL injection. So which field is vulnerable? The data obtained from this vulnerability may be used to further escalate privileges in the product and obtain sensitive user such as a password, hashes, and API token. So how can we do this? So the first one, so when a user acknowledges a banner, a post request is sent to this with the post data consisting of the intended action and the ID. So action and acknowledge banner, these three. The ID parameter is assumed to be trusted but comes directly from the client without sanitation. So this leads to SQL injection where an authenticated user with low or no privilege can retrieve sensitive data such as the XI section, SI users table containing the user's email, user's passwords, and the API token. So let's try and use this. So we have to send a post request to this, which is the SQL injection. So the way we go about that, it's more of using SQL map to see if we can dump these credentials. So let's try to replicate this. Let's stop this. We can stop this. Let's exit. I think we have a pathway so far. Let's clear this and let me exit. And this is still running. Let's stop this as well. Clear. I already have what I need. There's cd home, no, I would say roots machine, HTB, and monitor. Okay, so let's use SQL map, and we want to specify the URL HTTP and call it netuse.monitor.htb and call this netuse, where we're sending that. So we're sending it to this. Let's copy this and so okay, let's do that. And what's the parameter that we have to poison? So that would be, let's see, it says the action acknowledge with the post data consisting of these. So that's going to be our post data, right? And what else? So when a user acknowledges a banner, this is assumed to be trusted but comes directly from the client. So this vulnerability does not require existence of a valid announcement banner ID, meaning it can be exploited by an attacker anytime. So we already have our section token, so we can use that and pretend as if we already authenticated. So let's go back to this and token is equals to, let's go and generate a new token because this token expires every 5 minutes. So this should be our token. This should be our token. And with all of these characters, so let's try to encode that so it's not going to break. And let's do SQL map -h and so we can use -p for the test parameter, which we want to force the entry point for SQL injection. So we have to specify these. So let's do that. -p is going to be the ID. So we want to do the ID field, and we want to force the response, so it's not going to ask us any question. What else? So the users table, so let's assume this is going to be users table, right? So the table name, let's see, the database will be the netuse, and let's use the table, the users table, and let's use dump. So let's dump that, and let's see if this is gonna work. It says netuse does not assist. my bad. So let's go back and fix this. So it's monitor. That was quick. So now we have the API key. How do we see this? This is the user ID, the email, the password. So we have the password for the admin. We already have the password for the SVC right here. So what we can do is try and crack this hash and then log in as NetJuice admin. Let's see, vi arches.txt, and we can use hashcat or John Ripper hashcat. Let's do arches and user share word list and do rockq.txt. My bad. So let's see if that's gonna crack. And what can we do? Let's do the mode, set it to 3200, mode 3200. Okay. Let's see. So with time, we might have to, let me see, what else? Okay, now we have the API token. For the admin, let's see if we can create a new user account with this particular token. So let's go and grab a token again right here. So let's do this. This is for the admin, or possibly let's do this. Or let's do post request. Let's do post and ignore the certificates. HTTP, so you can use -ignore or -k to ignore the certificates. So insecure, do HTTPS, and that will be NetJuice.monitor.htb, and that will be on this endpoint I choose, and let's use the API endpoint and system, and let's create a new user. So what we can do is provide the API key. So that will be the API key, and let's paste the API key, and let's see. Let's see what else. Using the API key. this will be useful. No. Understanding users' rights. So well, let's try this and see if it's gonna work. And let's use the data. Let's call this username. Let's call it accuracy, and the password will be tester123. And we have to set the authentication level. Let's do email will be accuracy.local, and auth level, let's assign that to be admin. So says URL was not found. Okay, so here's the problem. Okay, let's go back and fix that. And that should fix it. Error: could not create a user, missing required field name. So do we have to set the name? Let's go back again and put the name here, and name will be accuracy. Hopefully that's gonna create a new account. Yeah, so user ID is equals to null. Username accuracy and password tester123. Let's see if we can log in with this. All fingers crossed. Let's go back. So let's do accuracy, and this should be tester123. It says user not logged in. Let's try that again. So probably we're missing something. It says user ID account accuracy was created, the username and the password. Okay, so let's do that again. So we verified. Let's change this to user underscore ID. User ID, probably that's what we're missing. So it's saying we're missing the username. So let's go here and change this back to username. And let's change this to thank you. Let's change this to thank you. And the password as tester123. So we have the username as thank you. We have the password as tester123. The name will be accuracy. The email will be accuracy. Oh, okay. So accuracy at me.local. Probably that's where that error came from. And the auth level, we're giving it admin. So if this is successful, our username will now be thank you. So now we have a user ID 6. Initially the user ID was 0, so this seems to be a great success. So let's go ahead and log in as thank you, and the password with tester123. Thank you, and this will be tester123. No, we don't want to save that. It's taking forever. Now it seems we're logged in. So let's accept this, submit. And it's prompting us to change our password. Let's do welcome 123, welcome 123, and let's change the password. We don't want to save. So let's go ahead and start cleaning up our terminal. We don't need this because we already logged in. Oh, I should have leave it running. Maybe we could recover the plaintext password for the admin and still be able to log in. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Let's clear this. Let's clean this terminal. As you can see, the benefits of running this particular script itself. So it's more of like doing everything in one pane. So I call it like a single glass of pane. It run the script scan, the nmap, and also try to do all of the recon for us. So it's really good. Let's clear that and let's go back. Sweet. So is there a way we can run a command or check? Let's see the tools. So let's first check for the registered users. Let's see. So we are thank you. That's what we set up. So we see our API key. If we ever need to use it, let's go to config. Let's go to core configurations. And there's 148 commands. Let's see if we can have our own command. Let's do head no commands and call this let's do please subscribe. Please subscribe, and let's run bash. Let's see, bash. So we use bin bash. Let's use bin bash, and what's our IP? That'll be 10.10.14.32, and let's listen and 443, and that should be it. Okay, so let's check the command. It's save. Let's save this. So the name of our command is please subscribe, and let's try to listen VNP 443, and let's go back and let's apply configurations. Okay, so now let's try and deploy an agent. Let's see, should we run configuration manager, or let's see, how can we run a code, a command. Let's do this configuration manager again, and let's do the commands. And with our command, let's do display all, and we have it as please subscribe right here. So if we click on this, we're looking for a way to run this command. Is the plugin? No. Let's see. Let's go back to the configuration manager. And we're still listening. So let's do what host do we have? So let's do add new hosts, and let's check the command. Let's do please subscribe. Let's do please subscribe, and let's run a check, and let's run a check command. We're not getting anything. Batch. Oh, it's not gonna work. It's really not gonna work. So let's go back and fix this. So it have to be dev TCP. So what was I thinking? Let's go back to the configuration manager, and let's go and modify that. Let's go and modify a command. This video is taking so long that I'm even burned out right now. So let's try and edit this, and this should be dev TCP. Now this should work. Let's save this. It's saved. So let's go ahead and apply the configurations. Now let's go back to the configuration manager, hosts, and let's add a new host. So let's check our command and type please subscribe, and let's run a check command. Let's run a check. We're not getting anything back. We are in. So let's get a proper TTY here, which Python 3. Okay, Python 3 c import pty pty.spawn and bin bash. Okay, st2y raw minus echo fg, enter, and let's do export term equals to s-term, and let's clear this. Let's set st2y rows 49, colors 199, and we're good. So let's do ls. We can grab our users flag. That's the user flag. So next, id, okay, sudo -l. So it says we can start, stop, restart, check the status for natures. So okay, so let's do sudo. We can also start the ncd. Let's use, let's check this, which ncd npcd, no, find, type dash name. Let's do npcd, execute ls-lh, and to def null. Okay, so we have that inside the user local bin npcd. So let's check the file permission for this. ls-lh, paste this. So we are natures and we have read, write, and execute permission on this file itself. So let's check the status of this. How do we do that? So we have the managed services. Okay, let's do sudo let's do status. Let's check the status for this. Basic parameter must be one of, okay. So let's check the status. Okay, so it's still running. Let's stop this service. Now if we check this the status again, it says it's inactive because we've stopped it. So what we can do is modify this file. Let's copy this. Let's do let's try and edit this. Let's do nope. I don't want to do that. Let's use Vim instead. Okay. Let's do bin bash, and now let's put bash dash. Let's use let's grab another payload. Let me see. So we use, let's configure this 10 10 14 32, and let's not 9001, and this will be 14, not 114. And let's set these to let's use bash. Should we encode this? Let's do this. Okay, so let's go back. You know what? Let's use nano. Use this. So this would be bin bash, and let's echo this and pipe it to base 64 -d, and should we pipe it to bash again? Let's see if this is gonna work. Yes. So what we're trying to do, let's clear this. It's echo. Let's set up another listener. nc-lvnp 9001. Let me increase this a little bit. So if we go to echo this and pipe it to base 64 -d, which is going to decode that, and then pipe it to bash, we should get a connection right here. So let's go ahead and exit this, and now listen on this. So let's go back and start a service. Let's go to manage services. Let's start this. Start, and now we get a connection. We are root. Who am I? We are root, so we can go back to root and ls and cut the roots.txt. That's flag. I know it's been a long video, sorry about that, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you love this video, please do subscribe, and I hope I see you next time. Bye guys.